This conference room I'm in right now smells like sweat, so I'm gonna make this video as quick, to the point, relevant, useful as I possibly can. One of the most common comments I receive is, Trent, tell me about your voicemail strategy. What do I say? How often do I do it? Should I even be leaving voice messages? You're in luck, because today I'm gonna break down my voicemail strategy. It's a little different than most because I do automated voice messages. I pre-record them and then share them after every call, email I send. So I'll break that down. And also, if you stick around until the end of the video, I listened to an interview of one of our sales managers interviewing a candidate for an account executive role at my company. I'm gonna share some of the questions I heard because I said, oh wow, this is a live interview. So many of you are looking for jobs in sales or maybe looking for other opportunities. So I'm gonna share with you my key learnings and takeaways from listening to that interview. If you'd like to support the channel, smash the like button now. I think this is day 25 in a row posting a new video. So I'm committed to providing you relevant content that helps you find more success sooner rather than later. And also, if you're in sales or looking to get in sales, subscribe to the channel for more videos, daily sales content. Let's go. Okay, voicemail strategies. First and foremost, the elephant in the room per se is, should you be leaving voice messages? Yes, you should be leaving voice messages. You should never hang up the call until you leave the voice message. Am I guilty of not following my own advice? Yes. Very hard, difficult to stay consistent and disciplined to leave the voice messages. The analogy I share is, when you go to the gym, you don't always want to go to the gym. And when you're lifting weights, you don't notice an impact that day. Just because you did 5-10 bicep presses, pumps, you're not going to notice bigger biceps that day, or even in a week, or even in a month. My philosophy on voice messages is, you're not necessarily going to get a lot of callbacks, and it's hard to attribute that voicemail effort to a correlated returned email or you penetrating in the account. But I believe if you do enough of it over time, it helps with your brand awareness and that prospect understanding, oh wow, it's Trent from Qualtrics again leaving me another voice messages. I should at least get back to him and let him know I'm not interested. Or maybe I want to get back to him because I appreciate and respect his persistence. So that's point number one, is if you're not leaving voice messages, you should be leaving voice messages. You may be thinking, okay, Trent, I agree. I'm going to start doing voice messages. I consent. What do I say? So it's an art more than it is a science. There's not necessarily a definitive talk track of, if you say this, then you can receive to be called back. Based on my experience, here's what I do for the voice messages. First and foremost, keep it between 20 and 30 seconds max. You don't want it extending out to a minute. I'm guilty of this because I feel that when I start talking in my voice message, I get carried away, I lose track of time, and next thing you know, I've been talking for a minute and I'm like, okay, we gotta get out of here, let's end it. Principle number one is to keep your voice message between 20 and 30 seconds. Short, sweet, succinct, to the point. Within that voice message, figure out how can you be relevant? How can you be current? Rather than just saying, hey, this is Trent from XYZ company, I'm following up on an email I'd sent you, give me a call back at your earliest convenience. Maybe play around with it. And what I say is, I try and tell them something they may not already know. So for example, I'll say, hey, 50% of your employees could leave within the next year. Based on our research, the three main contributors of attrition are burnout, lack of productivity, lack of engagement, whatever it may be. I start with a compelling hook of, hey, you could be at risk of X. Did you know this might be happening in your business? So inserting a relevant industry trend to catch their attention, and then you can finish and say, yeah, this is Trent from insert XYZ company name. I sent you an email. No need to call me back. And this is what I always say. I say, no need to call me back. Reference my recent email, trentd@xyzcompany.com, and reply back to me. Let me know if you're interested in setting up a brief introductory conversation. Or you could end it, and this is something I have been playing out as well, is I'll say a compelling hook. I'll say, based on our latest research, XYZ, this is what you should be caring about. My number is 740, insert number. I'm not going to insert my number. I know you guys will blow me out. We use Outreach. They're not a sponsor, but I do like the platform. It allows me to track my sequences and my tasks in an organized fashion. All that means is you have a pre-recorded template of email call, email call, email call. So I'll add a high-level prospect to my sequence. I'll send them a manual email. I'll give them a call. It'll trigger an auto email, and then it'll organize me to give them a call in 2 days. After each step of call one, I have what's called VM1, voice message one. So I'll do my call one, and I'll leave the pre-recorded voice message one. And it says 50% of employees could leave in the next year. Here's the 3 main reasons why. If you're interested in this, check out my email. And then after call number 2, I'll leave voice message number 2, which is something totally different and unique and tries to talk about a different business problem they may be having. Rather than employee retention, maybe it's productivity, or maybe it's diversity, equity, and inclusion, whatever it may be. Diversify your approach, because a lot of sales reps think, okay, I've tried this messaging, it's universal. If they're not interested in it, they're not interested. Maybe they're just not interested in that particular message or outcome. So diversify the talking points, the pain points, the areas of value your solution can create. So I have 4 pre-recorded voice messages. The last one pretty much says, look, this is Trent from insert company name. I've been persistent. I recognize that. The reason I want to get a hold of you is XYZ. Let me know. Do you want to talk? And that's really the last-ditch Hail Mary effort. With pre-recorded automated voice messages, it saves me between 30 seconds to a minute of having to talk, which I like. And if you think about making 50 calls, we're talking about a substantial amount of time. So if you're an SDR, if you're making volume calls, you got to figure out how to do auto voice messages. If you're not making volume calls and you're really strategic, like I want to be, but I'm not quite there yet, you should probably tailor your voice messages. In an automated voice message, you can't insert their name, you can't insert their company name, you can't insert specific nuances based on details you have. So that's the drawback of the auto voice message strategy. Bottom line, keep it short and sweet, keep it interesting, relevant, and tell them why it matters really quickly and what you can do for them. And then hopefully that's enough for them to get back to you. Enough on the voice messages. Hope that answers your questions. I'm not an expert on it, but I have made 45,000 cold calls. Someone commented the other day, it's not a Trent video if he doesn't talk about his 45,000 cold calls. We have completed in this office and in another office, but verified 45,000 cold calls, so a lot of voice messages as well. As we think about the job interview, I was listening to a sales manager. He was just getting on, and the very first takeaway I had was his very first question was, look, we may have reached out to you, you may have reached out to us, but tell us why you are interested in joining our company and what it means to you. So if you're looking for a new job, if you're looking to get hired, ask yourself, why? Of course it's to get paid, of course it's the prestige, the money, whatever it may be. Figure out your why and figure out how you are going to uniquely contribute to that company. Observation number 2 was that he was asking about past performance. So if you have had past performance experience in a sales role, be prepared to talk about it. And if you feel like you're running away from your current employer to hide from not doing the right thing, and then you're going to go fake it till you make it at a new company, that is one approach. But sooner or later, you will get exposed. So just be as authentic as you can. Be you, be real. And then the final observation, the guy on the phone was coming from a company where he was selling more of a commodity product, $200-300 list price, and it's very transactional. He's closing 3 to 5 deals a week. Meanwhile, my company, Enterprise Software, it is a value sell. So you have to call into a company that they may have a latent pain, which means they're not necessarily looking for what you're trying to sell. And that's why the cold calling, that's why the voice messages are so important. And it's just setting the right expectations of, is this something you really want to do? Is this a role you're interested in? So that then begs you the question of doing your due diligence, doing your research, and figuring out, okay, this company just went public, they're growing fast, they've got a cool brand name, but do I actually want to be there? How does my past experience uniquely set me apart to contribute in that role? It's competitive. There are dozens of people interviewing for the same role that you want to be in, and a lot of people reach out and say, Trent, I don't have a bachelor's degree, I don't have any experience, how am I going to break in? The answer is it's going to be way harder for you than other people because you don't have those baseline, check the box, bachelor degree experience. So that just means you're gonna have to work even harder. That means you're gonna have to take even more action. You're gonna have to want it more than other people. That's why a clear story will set you apart. I hope you found value from today's video. If you did, smash the like button below. Subscribe to the channel for more sales videos. Connect with me on LinkedIn if you'd like to join professional networks. Comment below for the algorithm. I know some of you guys are here for the algorithm. Let's spread the word on the automated voice messages. Finally, follow me on TikTok. Have a nice evening. Bye.